What happens after World War III? A month ago I uploaded a video asking how a third world war would play out. It resulted in the dissolution of the Russian Federation, People's Republic of China, Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Islamic Republic of Pakistan, and many more. The United States would emerge as the sole power as its biggest rivals were defeated, and them being unharmed. But what if happens next? What happens after World War III? Russia collapsed into warlordism after the war, becoming TNO in real life. American forces pushed slowly through Siberia fighting separatists and warlords. They then established an occupation zone in Siberia. Lands south of the Don and Volga River and Ingria would face the same fate. In Russia, warlords of very different ideologies, including republics, fascism, communism, monarchies, military juntas, and neo-Putinism, fight for control of Russia. Komi, which is the only internationally recognized one, annexes Arkhangelsk, which results in them sharing a border with Finland and Russia being landlocked. Russians in Komi are sent to war-torn Russia. The Soviet Union, Russian SFSR, and the National Bolshevists would form a coalition government between the federal communists, centrist communists, and nationalist communists. They managed to take down the other warlords like the monarchists in Nizhny Novgorod or the neo-Putinists in Perm. Meanwhile, the Russian Republic, which is the legitimate government, can't form a big army, and so isn't able to defeat the weaker communists. They, on the other hand, can't invade the Republicans, as an invasion would allow them to remilitarize, which means there are two Russian governments, one in Moscow and one in Nizhny Novgorod. On top of that, all of their neighbors are part of NATO, or occupied by NATO, with Kazakhstan, and briefly Komi being the exception. In 2057, 25 years after the war, Siberia gains independence from Russia. In Europe, Moldova would vote to join Romania after dissolving Transnistria, and Kosovo may hold a referendum. Northern Ireland holds a referendum whether to stay part of the United Kingdom, join Ireland, or become independent. Most of the people vote to join Ireland and the United Kingdom of England, and Northern Ireland becomes the Kingdom of England led by William IV as Charles died in 2032. Turkey find itself in a war against Kurdish, Arab, and Armenian separatists, as Kurds alone make up 40 million people while Turks make up 60 million. Kurdistan and Armenia gain independence, and Syria retakes ethnic Arab lands in Turkey, and even pre-war border lands that are Arab. The Arab Federation and Kurdistan exchange ethnic Kurdish and Arab lands, and Northern Lorestan, that is ethnic Kurdish, votes to join Kurdistan. After the war, the far-right Nationalist Movement Party would grow massively and could rival the Justice and Development Party and the Republican People's Party. Turkey would likely leave NATO as they would feel betrayed, followed by other countries not seeing the need of being in NATO anymore. Only the US, Canada, and Eastern European countries that border Russia and some more would remain. Belgium, France, Germany, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and maybe Italy may form the United States of Europe, becoming a new great power in Western Europe. Saudi Arabia gave up its alliance with the US in favor of Russia in 2022, and now Russia has fallen and the US don't need their oil anymore thanks to Siberia, and so they are alone and soon later ends up collapsing in on themselves. A civil war between the people and state breaks out, and Yaf Hejaz, Al-Hissa, Sir, and Najran declare independence. The Arab Federation annexes Yaf, and Yemen annexes Jizan, Sir, and Najran, while the Way take back lands connecting them to Qatar. The Saudis crush the Republican movement, but the army led by Fayad al-Ruwaili coups the government and forms the Arab Republic of Nejdi. They invade Al-Hissa, but were stopped by the US. They annex most of the country, but the coastal region, including the oil fields, is an American-friendly regime. In Hejaz, a civil war breaks out between the government and the Islamist state of Hejaz, but a coalition led by the US crushes the Aish. In this chaos, the Arab Federation annexes parts of Tabuk, and Nejdi pushes its border. Nonetheless, they are an irrelevant desert state. In Africa, Morocco, Egypt, and Ethiopia emerge victorious, but South Africa collapses into various smaller countries like the Volksstaat Cape Republic, or Zulu Kingdom. The East African Federation is still the #1 power on the continent. China was split in three between a constitutional monarchy and Manchuria Republic in the south and federal state in the Central Plains, but that seemed to change quickly as the Republic of China and Kingdom of Manchuria invaded the United Provinces of China. The US had none of that and supported the UPC and forced them to sign a white peace in an effort to keep China divided. Tibet, East Turkestan and Mongolia formed something like the Little Entente with their guarantee against the three Chinas being India. India became after the war a great power despite of most major cities being nuked by Pakistan. They increases their arsenal with Pakistani nukes and expand their sphere of influence into China. Punjab and Burma become Indian puppet states, and they build a pipeline from Burma and one from Central Asia. In Punjab, Hindus and Sikhs were encouraged to return to their homeland. Kashmir is a revoltious province as they are the only majority Muslim one, and so India released the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir under Ajat Singh as a puppet state. Afghanistan, Bhutan, Sindh and Sri Lanka would find themselves under the sphere of influence of India. India becomes the second biggest economy, only behind the United States. In 2058, the Shanghai Federation becomes independent, but the U.S. Army is still stationed there until 2132. After Korea united, the government in the Seoul had a few problems to deal with. First, they suddenly have a lot of nukes. Second, a lot of northerners migrate to the south, which has to be regulated, and third, they have to invest heavily into the north and re-educate the people. Indonesia and Korea are emerging as new regional powers as China has fallen and Japan is aging. Don Volga and Ingria gain independence in 2083, but are forbidden to join Russia and stay American allies. With the Balkans not being part of NATO anymore, a fifth Balkan War may break out. It'd be with Turkey, Bulgaria, Hungary and Albania on one side and Greece, North Macedonia, Croatia, Romania and Slovakia on the other. Turkey, Bulgaria, Albania and Hungary end up winning. Turkey annexes almost all Greek Aegean islands including Thrace and northern Evros and establishes a puppet regime in Greece. Bulgaria annexes most of North Macedonia, Greek Macedonia, the rest of West Thrace and Dobruja. Albania annexes ethnic Albanian parts of North Macedonia. Hungary annexes southern Slovakia, Maramuresh, Krajina, Banat and Baka and puppet Slovakia and Transylvania, aiming to re-Magyarize both of them. Sri Lanka would collapse in on itself by 2050 and become part of India, with people from the south migrating there. If a fourth world war would break out, it would be between a rising India on one side and a declining USA on the other, probably in the late 21st century. The UPC, Turkey, Iran and Vietnam would join on the side of India and Comoros, Kurdistan and Thailand on the side of USA. Both sides could end up winning this war, and it would decide whether we would watch Hollywood and eat burgers or watch Bollywood and eat chicken tikka masala. It is hard to tell what would happen in the future, as you can only work with speculations, and this is especially hard for a world after a world war, but the US would likely dominate the world for most of the rest of the 21st century, but with Asia and Africa on the rise. If you liked the episode, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.